The Game Awards. It's a magical night full of big wins, bigger announcements, and even bigger gacha game trailer montages that finally give you a chance to go pee. Welcome to Triple Click, where we bring the games to you. It's time for gaming's biggest night when Jeff Keighley teams up with Statler and Waldorf to save the video game industry. On this episode, our predictions on who will win in each category. Let's go. I'm Kirk Hamilton.
I'm Maddy Myers.
And I'm Jason Trier. Hello.
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 We're back again.
Hi, my friends.
How was everybody's Thanksgiving?
Delicious.
It was great. Hung out, I ate some turkey, and I listened to my relatives talk about Landman. Which I'm guessing a lot of people out there also did.
Isn't that the latest Mega Man boss?
It is. It's the Mega Man boss that all of your older relatives, for some reason, want to talk about.
They're all talking about it. They're all talking about it this year.
And when you beat him, you get the ability... Oil spill. I don't know. I don't really know what Landman is about.
You get the ability to carry water for extractive capitalism. It's awesome.
There we go.
It's like the best power-up you can get in that game.
Speaking of extractive capitalism.
Speaking of extractive capitalism, Triple Click is a listener-supported show, and we really appreciate all of you out there who support us making this, all of you Maximum Fun members who are listening. And of course, if you would like to join their ranks, go to MaximumFun.org/join and sign up to become a member. You can, think of it as a gift that you get yourself this holiday season to support some listener-supported media. And if you become a member, you get bonus episodes of our show that we record every single month. There are so many of them. The most recent one is really good. It is our spoiler-filled discussion of The Sopranos Season 1. Maddy has never seen it before. Jason has seen it so many times that it is always playing in his brain. And I'm sort of in the middle. And it was a very fun conversation. What a fun show to talk about. I really am happy with that episode. It seems likely that we're going to watch some more Sopranos and maybe talk about that as well in the bonus feed.
Why don't we actually ask listeners for their thoughts? Because we've been kind of debating this amongst ourselves. Email us at tripleclick@maximumfun.org. Short email answers, please. But email us and let us know if you want us to do a bonus episode for each season of The Sopranos, or if you're just like, no, that's too much Sopranos. I want bonuses about other stuff. I want to hear some opinions from people out there.
And bear in mind that this would be spread out over a long period of time.
Sure, yeah, it wouldn't be like, yes, it wouldn't be 6 months.
And bear in mind that we want to do it. We would like to do it.
Right. Let us put our thumb on the scale a little bit.
Bear in mind that we don't care what you think and we'll do what we want anyway.
Well,
so anyhow, at the very least, you will get a bonus episode about Season 1 that was quite a bit of fun. It was also really long, so that's a special little holiday gift for everyone. An extra long Beans cast about Sopranos Season 1. Become a member, MaximumFun.org/join. And also, of course, there's a lot of new merch in the store, too. Some really great new Bing art. That Ace Attorney Bing art is in there. There's all kinds of designs. There's like a desk mat and a mouse pad. There's some great merch that you can get. So you can support us that way as well. There's a link for the store in the show notes. Okay, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the most magical time of the year for gamers. And we're talking about the Game Awards this week. Jason Schreier, why don't you take us away?
It's gaming's biggest night. Once again, we're here. It is the Game Awards 2025, the big game award show that hits every single December. I will be flying out to Los Angeles shortly to go check it out and hang out at the JW bar afterwards. If you see me and are there, say hello. I guess if you see me and you're not there, you can't say hello, but you could email me and say hello. So as we do every year, we are going to predict who is going to win each of the categories, including from the big ones, Game of the Year, to the most ridiculous ones. And the way that we handle this is we use this prediction as a tiebreaker for our annual predictions that we do every year. So when we assess our 2025 predictions in January for that little game, if two of us are tied or three of us are tied, we will use this to figure out who actually wins the bet. So yeah, we'll be keeping track of these and we're just going to go through them. We'll give our thoughts. And then at the end of all the categories, once we've gone through them all, we'll talk a little bit about the announcement part of the Game Awards. Because of course the Game Awards show is known, I would say, more for its big reveals of upcoming games than it is for the actual awards themselves, which are kind of the window dressing.
Were you trying to say world premieres, Jason? Not just reveals.
The world premieres. It's kind of like, it's a lot like Thanksgiving. stuffing, in that the awards are kind of like the turkey, in that they're there, but like the real highlight is the stuffing, the announcements. That's what you come for. You're like, the pies, the sweet potatoes. Like you don't really. The turkey is just kind of there.
Pick your favorite side dish.
Yeah,
mashed potatoes for me, for what it's worth.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, like everybody has a favorite side dish too. So, and I feel like similarly, we all might have a different trailer or world premiere we might be looking forward to.
Exactly.
That's right. And you know, the turkey's filling. It's protein. It's important.
It's protein. Yeah.
You got to spatchcock the awards.
Yeah, we
the
didn't
Game of
get
the Year
into
awards
the
much better if you
spatchcocking this year.
spatchcock
If you cut out the spine. Yeah. The reason for that, Maddy, is because I didn't make a turkey this year. I did fried chicken. I did a turkey breast.
Wow, that's how little it matters. That's wild.
I did a small turkey breast, and then I did fried chicken. Yeah. Anyway, let's get on with it. So we're going to go through each category. I think we'll probably spend a little bit more time talking about these first few, because these are the big ones. Starting with Game of the Year. The nominees for Game of the Year are Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silk Song, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Let me just say up front that while I personally think Blueprints was completely robbed, it's worth noting here, I think we've said this before, but a large part of the jury of the Game Awards are from other countries, and so it's possible that Blueprints, a game that is very much geared towards English speakers and is difficult even for native English speakers to grok some of the puzzles in it. I think for people who, if English is their second language, I imagine it'll be much tougher sell. So I understand why it is robbed here. Anyway, Game of the Year. What do you guys think of this slate? Do you think anything was robbed other than Blueprints?
Other than obviously Blueprints.
I mean, Blueprints,
Obviously
was
Blueprints.
robbed. It's one of the greatest games I've ever played.
Yeah.
It's not nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean, your reasoning, I'm sure, is solid, but at the same time, it's hard to look at this list having played through all of Blueprints and not think, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
There are some good games here, though. I have been angrier in the past at some Game of the Year lineups than I am this year. I just wanted to float that out there.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
a bunch of great games. I like every one
Very
of these
strong
games.
lineup.
It's not my personal list. It's not what I would choose, but I get why all these games are here. And there have been years where I have been like, I don't understand how this happened. What are we doing here?
Yeah, one thing I'll say is that, compared to like last year's list, which is a little weaker, or 2021 had a particularly weak lineup, this is a pretty good lineup. Although, unlike last year was kind of a toss-up. This is more akin to 2023, which was the year of Baldur's Gate 3, 2022, which was the year of Elden Ring, 2017, which was the year of Breath of the Wild. I think this year has a very clear favorite that I think we all know is going to win. So with that said, let's all give our predictions for what will win Game of the Year.
Do we all agree on what we think it is? I'm
well,
putting Clair
yours,
Obscur.
Maddy?
I picked Clair Obscur for my projected winner. Again, not my personal Game of the Year. We're saying what we think will win. I feel like we have to say that.
What we think is going to win.
I put Clair Obscur down.
Yeah, I think we can leave that as a blanket statement for every one of these. We are making predictions and not saying what we like.
We'll do a different episode on that.
Okay, we've got that out of the way. Yeah, Clair Obscur is
it's very clearly going to be Clair Obscur. I don't think there's any question here. That game has the most kind of broad appeal to people, even though the three of us weren't as super high on it as a lot of other people. I think we all kind of liked it.
I liked it.
It's also got the best
narrative,
meta narrative behind it. It's like, look at these ex-Ubisoft people striking it out, making this big thing on their own. So yeah, I think pretty clearly going to win. I don't think there's any question about that. Let's get to the next category, best game direction. Always the funny one where it's kind of like, what does that even mean? Nobody knows. People just kind of vote with their guts, I suppose. The nominees are Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, and Split Fiction.
Jason, I just want to note that you wrote a little song there. What does it mean? Nobody knows. People just vote with their gut, I suppose. It's like a little Dr. Seuss.
little old ditty for me.
We got a children's novel about the Game Awards coming out.
Picture book.
Mm-hmm. You can picture. Oh man, I can picture the Seuss version of Jeff Keighley with that little rhyme on the other page.
Big sneakers.
I'm gonna give my thoughts first, which is I think that this award is typically given to the game with the most recognizable director, the director that people know and can be like, oh yes, that guy is the best game director, and therefore my pick is Death Stranding 2 because I think people will be like, oh yeah, of course it Hideo Kojima should be Best Director because everybody knows who he is.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it will be Kojima, though I could see Joseph Fares getting it for Split Fiction as well. And those are two recurring Game Awards characters, so it also kind of stands to reason that people associate them with the Game Awards. But yeah, I think this will be Kojima.
I ended up going with Split Fiction for this, and I will note that oftentimes if it's not a recognizable director, it'll just be a duplicate winner from Game of the Year a lot of times. And so I actually think it's hard to guess this one for that reason. I think Clair Obscur has a pretty strong foothold here, and we'll probably get a weird winner with some vote splitting as a result of that. So I would say this one is anyone's guess, but I went with Split Fiction because it hasn't gotten very many nominations this year, and Joseph Fares has absolutely surprised me before at these awards, so I'm trying to get out ahead of it and vote for him this time.
It is also a spectacular game, as the one of us who played all the way through it. It is like an unbelievably well...
Yeah, it is, and it was directed very well.
Yeah,
like,
really
I
well
actually
put
feel
together
like
game.
you could make the argument that he's the deserving winner, although that wasn't why I chose him. I'm just gaming the system here.
I'm glad we have some divergence here. Next up, we have Best Narrative. The options are Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Silent Hill F. I just want to say, the fact that Silksong isn't in here, I mean, I kind of understand it because the narrative takes a lot of work to understand, but having watched that fantastic Mossbag video about the story and also having picked up bits and pieces from playing it, that game should totally be in here. Not to mention Blueprints, which probably is the best story of any game this year.
Oh, well. It's not there.
I think that actually Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 should win this by a mile. That game has one of the most ambitious and amazing game narratives I've ever seen. But I think that Clair Obscur is going to win this one just because it is a very cool narrative. I think the world they've built, the characters are remarkable. It's probably the most... it's the thing that draws me into the game the most. They've really come up with a really cool new world, even though, we've mentioned how the game borrows ideas from earlier games. That world, the paintress, this whole idea of this Titan who paints this number and like all of it, and the way that the narrative ties in with the game design and the art direction and the performances. I mean, it is really something else. So I think it's got a really good shot at winning this.
Yeah,
Same.
I'm with you.
That's what I picked as well.
Okay.
For all the reasons you said.
Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I don't really think, for my personal taste, I don't think that game should be Game of the Year, but I'm not totally fine with it winning Best Narrative for the reasons you just mentioned.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Next up, we have Best Art Direction. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong. What do you guys think? Best Art Direction.
Another tough one.
I think it's going to be Clair Obscur again.
Really?
I think it's going to get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, I think that there's a really good chance that this game just sweeps. Because it's very strong in all of these categories.
And a lot of people played it, and that's a really big factor here. Like, a lot of critics played it.
Yeah, Silksong, I think, has incredible art. And, for me, there's so much beautiful art in that game.
That's what
Hades
I
2, also beautiful art. Ghost of Yotei, beautiful looking game. And Death Stranding, for that matter. I mean, all of these games are really strong. Any of them could win. I just think, Clair Obscur, again, it really stands out because of how it looks. It's so striking, and it's also this kind of unusual look, this kind of French impressionist, painterly style, and it really is really different, and it kind of fits in with the narrative, like the meta narrative of the game.
Maddy, what did you pick?
I'd put Silksong, which is fully nuts of me, and it won't win. I don't know. Sometimes when we do this game, I feel like my worst instincts come out where I'm like, I'm just going to pick one that I want to win.
You do some YOLO picks sometimes, Maddy. It's true, but that makes it fun.
Yeah.
Well, I also picked Silksong.
Hey!
I think that, people might get sick of voting Clair Obscur for everything, and they might be like, well, Silksong is just so,
it
extravagantly
looks so
gorgeous.
good and different. And it looks different from every other pick on the list.
Else. Mm-hmm. And also, just the bugs in that game are just so cool and distinct and, unlike any other game. It's just so cool looking, and the background art. I mean, when you're like running through that first town, and like the kind of the leaves are floating, and it's just that background. It's just an incredible looking, and there's so much of it. There's so much diversity in like all the different levels and art styles. I don't know. I'm with you, Maddy. I think that like Silksong will be robbed for Game of the Year and other awards, but I think it might win art.
This is one where people might just get a little tired of writing Clair Obscur.
Yeah, it has a chance. I think it has a chance for maybe a couple more too, but we'll get into that. Next up, we have Best Score and Music. Very strong category this year. We have Christopher Larkin for Hollow Knight Silksong, Darren Korb for Hades 2, Lorien Testard for Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Toma Otoa for Ghost of Yotei, and Woodkid and Ludwig Forsell for Death Stranding 2 On the Beach. Kirk, what do you think?
All right. I think that Clair Obscur is going to win this just because I think Lorien Testard's story is, again, it's another one where the meta-narrative is so strong. This story of this guy who had written all of this music and was just posting to SoundCloud and got discovered, and then wrote some genuine bangers, especially that one tune. People keep sending it to me. It was actually the one that I picked for the episode as well. I wonder if they'll do a live performance of it. It's like the battle music in the second area where that synth comes in halfway through the fight and you just get pumped up every time you hear it. Anyhow, I think he'll win, though I have to say, like, for me, for my money, Chris Larkin, Silksong, one of the great soundtracks, and also the way that game used his music and the musical aspect of that game's world and storytelling were so incredible. There are some musical moments in that game, you know, when Hornet whips out her needle in at a climactic sequence and there's like this giant, you know, cutscene basically that plays as this music rings out. I mean, there were musical things in that game that really knocked me out. So that was my personal favorite.
I mean, the cogwork dancers alone, like, holy shit.
Just over and over. The music in that game is so outstanding. And Korb's music in Hades 2 is amazing. I mean, really, this really is a hell of a
It's a great,
yeah.
But yeah, I think Clair Obscur.
I'm with you, Kirk. I think Clair Obscur wins, but I think Christopher Larkin would be my personal choice, just like you.
Yeah,
Maddy?
I also put Clair Obscur down for this, so what are you going to do? I just want to also say Death Stranding 2 also has characters singing diegetically in it in some really cool moments, but they're so close to the end of the game that I'm like, I don't even know how many people got there, which is fine.
There's like the raindrops keep falling on my head sequence.
Yeah,
there's great music.
Yeah, that part is earlier on,
too.
and it's great. But there's some other moments later too, and there's like a character who plays the electric guitar gun. That's Higgs. It's a Troy Baker, just bizarre performance. And so there's some great musical moments with his character later in the game too, which of course there would be. So, I'm just like, I feel like the fact that so many people played Clair Obscur and remember those songs from just the first battles that you're in and how epic they sound. Like, how can that not bias the vote? It's just, we're just talking about volume here. People are going to vote with what they played and what they remember.
Yeah, it's also a thing to this kind of turn-based, actually. I mean, there's a reason, turn-based role-playing game. There's a reason that so many of those JRPGs that Clair Obscur is channeling have such beloved soundtracks, and it's because you get in these repetitive rhythmic kind of fights where you're focusing and you're thinking, but you're also listening, and it's not quite as demanding of your attention. So the music like plays a sort of specific role in that kind of game, and it really had that feeling of like FF10 or something where like the music is just such a big part of the experience.
Yeah, agreed. I think Death Stranding 2, the one thing it has really working against it in a very strong way is that a lot of the music in it is from other artists, like Churches has tracks in there.
Yeah, like
and other bands have
like
tracks
pop
in there.
song needle drops, which kind of confuses the question. I agree.
Right. And I mean, Woodkid's music is it is a needle drop, though they were written for the game, but it is a little bit of a like gray area, or it's sort of both at the same time.
No, but I'm not talking about that specifically, as opposed to the others where like those composers wrote every track in the game. I'm just saying, like, I don't think that like they have as much of a case, Woodkid and Ludwig Forsell, because they also brought in other bands for a lot of what's in Death Stranding. too. But whatever. Anyway, I think we're all in agreement on this. Let's move on. This is where we start getting into a few funky ones. This is one of the funkiest categories, one of the strangest categories. Best audio design, which I'm not super convinced that the jurors knew what that meant. The nominees are Battlefield 6, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, and Silent Hill F. And again, it's just like, how can you not include Silksong on a list of best audio design? Like, holy crap.
They should just have the bug that says Jesus.
Yeah,
that
right.
alone should get them a nomination.
Yeah, God.
Yeah.
I just don't understand this. Like, why is...
And some of these choices, I mean, these are games I like, but I'm like, that's not what I would necessarily nominate them for.
So did any of us play Silent Hill F? I could see that being a contender.
I've watched some Let's Plays of it. It's very scary, and I can't play it myself, but I do really like watching it. And it is another game that I almost shouted out when we were on the narrative category, because I think the story is quite good, actually, and very, very well written. But wouldn't necessarily pick it for sound design, although horror games certainly have some good kind of spatial awareness things sneaking up on you.
Being a good sounding series.
Yeah.
Well, so my pick here is, I actually have an opinion here. My pick is Ghost of Yotei, and I think that game actually has the best sound design. Like, I've been playing a lot of that on a home theater system, like an Atmos system, and the sound design in that game is exceptional. I mean, all these games could win. I mean, they all have great sound design. They're doing different things, I suppose, with their sound, but Ghost of Yotei's soundscapes that it creates are incredible. Like, it is really an oral experience playing that game. So I think that's going to win, and that would also be my pick to win.
That's also
Maddy?
What I chose, in part because, I mean, it's not to say I don't agree that Silent Hill F has some cool atmospheric stuff going on. Ghost of Yotei was the one of this list that I was like, I remember experiencing some cool sound moments when playing that game, more so than anything else on the list. And that's unrelated to music. It's just other sounds in the game. And that's how I try to think about this category.
Yeah, the wind, the animals, the space. Yeah.
My pick is Clair Obscur, just because I think people who are just like, oh, the music in Clair Obscur, oh, yeah, let's include the sound design in there too.
Not a bad way to go about this game by any means.
That's just how I'm thinking about it. Best performance. It's interesting. And like in the Oscars, obviously, and TV film awards, this is typically split into male and female performance. But for the Game Awards, it's just everybody just kind of grouped together in one, to the point where you have 3 different people from the same game. So here are the nominees for best performance: Ben Starr, Clair Obscur; Charlie Cox, Clair Obscur; Erika Ishii, Ghost of Yotei; Jennifer English, Clair Obscur; Konatsu Kato, Silent Hill F; and Troy Baker, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. What do you guys think of this list?
This is a funny one. Indiana Jones is in such a rough spot because it came out so long ago, even though Troy Baker's performance was exceptional and it was a great game. It was easily one of my favorite games, but I put it on my list last year, so I don't really think of it as a game for this year. And I'm guessing that a lot of jurors are going to feel the same way.
Yeah, it's so unfair to the games that come out in December because they missed the cut. And then, nobody wants to vote for a game that came out in December because it doesn't feel like a game that deserves to be on a 2025 list. My vote is Ben Starr. I think in that game, he did an excellent job in particular. I also think he got kind of robbed a couple of years ago with Final Fantasy 16. Although there were a lot of strong performers. I believe was it Neil Newborn who won for Baldur's Gate 3? Newborn who won for Baldur's Gate. So a very strong performer, obviously.
Yeah, hard not to give it to Asterion, really.
Yes, I agree. Although Ben's performance, Ben Starr also listens to this, so I think to our show, so I think that we should flatter him.
Yeah, Ben Starr was trash in FF16.
No, he was great.
No, you're right. Of course, he was great.
But no, I do actually think he's going to win this time.
Charlie Cox, interestingly, has lobbied against people voting for him because he thinks his mocap actor should get the credit, which has actually opened a really interesting discussion about this category.
He didn't do the mocap acting. I didn't know.
No, he did not, which I thought was fascinating. And that means that the facial expressions of his character are not him, which is, in his view, the true acting performance of the role, and kind of put me off voting for Charlie Cox. Just as an aside, I ended up choosing Troy Baker, even though I don't actually know that he's going to win. It's another of my YOLO picks.
It makes you think that maybe this should be broken up into 2 awards,
really
one for voice performance and one for mocap performance.
I agree.
But yeah, that's hard to do because not all games use performance capture. But I don't know. It could be interesting to try to split.
It is a real challenge because I think, for example, of Ghost of Yotei, a game that I played with the Japanese voice track and I'm still playing and really enjoying. And I think that the lead performance is remarkable, but it is this kind of hybridization of Erika Ishii, who I believe did the mocap, and the character is kind of based on her. It looks a little bit like her, but then the lip syncing and language is matching up with this other actress who acted in Japanese. And like that is a very interesting amalgamized performance. It's like, who do you nominate for that wonderful performance that I'm watching and really enjoying? I don't really know. Maybe like voice actors, I guess they have their own awards ceremonies, so maybe they can get into that kind of thing, like a bunch more categories and sort of technical delineations there. Anyhow, I think Jennifer English is actually going to win this. I think she's great in Clair Obscur. People love her character. She's like the heart of that game.
Yeah.
And I kind of think she's going to win.
Wow, 3 different votes. I love this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if that happens either. I would be shocked if Troy Baker won just because of that 2024 thing. But he does a great job. I mean, his impression of Harrison Ford is uncanny.
He's so good. It's wild.
Although I will say, to dock points against him, he is impersonating another actor, essentially.
I think that would actually be why I think that he wouldn't win, in addition to the timing thing.
Next up, we have the category Innovation in Accessibility. And the nominees are Assassin's Creed Shadows, Atomfall, Doom: The Dark Ages, EA Sports FC 26, and South of Midnight. I personally don't feel like I know enough about this, about the options that all of these have to be able to definitively say if this is a good list. But I'll just say I just picked out of a hat and voted for Assassin's Creed Shadows as my pick.
Yeah, I did too. In part because I remembered it having pretty good settings for this, but also because I think it's one of the most popular ones on this list. And again, I do think that matters for the game that the three of us are specifically playing right now, which is what did people play and what do they remember messing with the accessibility settings on most recently. And unfortunately for some of these, South of Midnight and Atomfall, I mean, I had coworkers at Polygon who played and liked both those games, but they just didn't get talked about a lot. So I think they're less likely to get nominated here or to win here.
I actually think it's going to be Doom: The Dark Ages. I only played that in Assassin's Creed, but that game had a lot of accessibility options.
Yeah,
Doom: The Dark Ages did, and there's some pretty cool ones, and I don't know. I just kind of think that's going to win.
It could. It could.
Next up, we have Games for Impact, which is the Game Awards kind of category for like, hey, all those games that people talk about on Twitter, let's just shove them into this thing. And even though people didn't really buy them or talk about them much, let's just shove them because we want to seem like we're important and progressive or whatever. These nominees are Consume Me, Despelote, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, and Wander Stop. I really enjoyed Wander Stop, by the way.
Yeah, that was a cool one. What do you think is going to win this?
Man, this is a tough one. I think Despelote is going to win this because that is the most critically acclaimed of these games.
So I'm having a hard time going between that, which I haven't played and I know is terrific and want to play, and Consume Me, which is also very critically acclaimed and has won a lot of awards already.
Was One More Thing of mine, if you may recall.
Right, and I know, Maddy, you liked it, or you did like it, right?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was great.
Didn't it have a controversial ending?
Did it? Oh, God, I didn't follow the discourse about that.
I don't know. That's the buzz I saw. I also did not play it, unfortunately, but
I liked
that's the vibe I got.
So I'm going to say Consume Me. I'm just going to pick that and think that's going to win.
I'm going with the normie pick. I put South of Midnight here. It was on Game Pass. I think probably a lot of people checked it out. I checked it out.
So that's the one game here that was published by a major publisher.
I know. Which I don't know if that's going to go against it or for it. I think this is one of those categories where these are such wildly different games, and I find the category itself bizarre. So I'm always just like, I don't know what's going to win here.
It's actually a really offensive category, like this idea that like only these really games
don't care
like kind of agree.
Yeah, it's really awful. It's
like the games that are about feelings or about life or something, and then you just put them all in a little room together and let them feel like they matter.
Or games that have marginalized creators and are about a marginalized person's experience often get shunted in here, but that's not the name of the category, and it's kind of implied to be. I find it. I feel like we say this every year.
We do.
I also, a controversial opinion here, but I also think that this is the list of some of the worst names of 2025. just throwing that out there.
It's true. There's no Spider Mansion.
Anyway, let's keep going. Best ongoing. This doesn't have a noun at the end of it. It's just best ongoing.
Best ongoing, really?
Well, that's because it's ongoing, Jason. It's going on right now.
I guess the implied
best ongoing.
Well, what's funny about these categories is that like when you get a little bit later, it's like best independent game, best mobile game, best action game. But this is just best ongoing. Just throwing that out there.
So you have to think of ongoing as a discrete thing. Like, okay, how are you guys doing? All right, so how's your ongoing? Which does sort of seem like business, like C-suite talk.
Yeah,
like, okay, but how is the ongoing? You're
ongoings?
talking about the P&L. Okay, but how is this game's ongoing?
Very good. The nominees are Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. What do you guys think?
I'm going to say Fortnite.
I'm going to go Marvel Rivals here. I feel like it's got that new juice on it and people still really like it.
Okay. My vote is also Fortnite because of the Simpsons thing, which I think was so incredible. People really loved. I will say it's hilarious that Final Fantasy XIV is on here because that game is in the lowest place it's ever been, to the point where the director is openly talking about how it needs a reboot like it did in the like 10 years ago, and it needs a complete reset. So this is just an example of just people having no idea what they're doing when they vote on these games. Yeah.
Inertia is a hell of a thing. They'd be like if Monster Hunter Wilds was on here.
Yeah. It's just like
the fact that everyone's so mad at
exactly. Or like if Destiny 2 is on here. Like
if this year, if Destiny 2 got nominated for Best
Halo Infinite. Let's get that in there.
And it speaks to, I want to be clear that I have a little bit of sympathy for the voters, for the jurors, because it's tough to keep track of all of these games, but still pretty funny. Next up, we have Best Community Support, and the nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky.
Baldur's Gate 3 has community support. What did they do?
It won last year.
It won last year.
This award.
And that makes more sense because they added a lot of stuff.
Yeah, this year they put out their final patch, and that's all I could find. I Googled this because I was like, Baldur's Gate 3, what did they do this year?
Okay.
It's kind of wrapping up.
I'm going to say Helldivers 2. I don't know. They've been doing a lot of fun stuff. It seems like their community people are still fun. I know that game is like, it's the longer it goes on, the more fraught their relationship with the players gets, and I'm not playing it anymore, but I'm just going to guess that Helldivers will win.
Yeah.
Maddy?
I guessed Fortnite. I didn't feel like there was a strong choice here, and you can't go wrong there.
Yeah, I also guessed Fortnite for the same reasons as
Pretty
above,
safe
like
guess.
the Simpsons stuff. All right, next up, Best Independent Game. Controversial category. We have Absalom, Ball X Pit, Ball Pit,
Yeah.
Blueprints, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. So
And Triple
this
Click.
is...
You left one off.
And Triple Click, yes. Yes, good call.
Little callback.
So this is a category that doesn't mean anything because by my count, 5 of these games have publishers. So
What is an independent game? What is
an independent game?
It was made by human beings capable of independent thought.
No, sorry, 4 of these games have publishers. And Ball Expit is a particularly hilarious one because that has a publisher that is a publicly traded company. So about as far away from independent as you could get, even though it was made mostly by a single person. So the fact that there's no real definition for this, I don't know. Who knows?
It's just like, here's a list of 6 games, which one wins?
Clair Obscur was made by like many people, 30 plus people, right? It had a big budget, it had contractors, and it was published by Kempler Interactive. Hades 2 doesn't have a publisher, so that's truly indie. Hollow Knight Silksong also doesn't have a publisher. Blueprints made by a single guy, mostly and his team, but also has a publisher, Raw Fury. Yeah, I don't know. This is a tough one. I think it's going to be Silksong. Because I think this is the consolation prize when Clair Obscur wins Game of the Year. I think people are like, okay, well, we're giving that Game of the Year, so we'll give indie to Silksong.
100%
I agree with you.
That's what I put.
Yeah, I think Silksong. And just because, like, Keeley has kind of been making Silksong jokes, and Silksong's release has been such a kind of ongoing concern, and that the Game Awards are so unusually concerned with releases and hype and that part of the games industry. Silksong, is going to win something,
Yeah,
it seems
it's
like,
gotta.
just because of that. And so it'll probably win. It'll probably win this.
Although, if you guys saw, I did an interview with Team Cherry last week, and I asked them, "Hey, are you coming to LA?" And they're like, "Nah, we're too busy." So
Love that.
maybe the Game Awards will snub them because of that.
It was funny that they said, I think they were talking about the Game of the Year nomination, in which they are also up against Clair Obscur. And they said, well, we think Clair Obscur is going to win. But then when you think about it, they're also in the indie game category against Clair Obscur. Like, they're against the same game.
Yeah.
Like, if Clair Obscur wins Game of the Year, why wouldn't it win Best Independent Game anyway? Award shows, ladies and gentlemen.
What are we doing
Very,
here?
very funny. Award shows. Next up, we have Best Debut Indie Game, and the nominees are Blueprints, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Despelote, and Dispatch. I like this category. Oh, wait, am I?
Yeah.
Oh,
Best
so this
Debut.
one, okay, I was wondering, I was like Googling this to make sure I had this right because it only has 4. Megabonk was nominated, but they
Yeah.
withdrew themselves because the creator of Megabonk turned out had made something else in the past, so they didn't feel comfortable being included. So it's only those 4. My vote is Blueprints. I think that this is where Blueprints gets its time to shine.
Yep, same.
Okay, Maddy?
I put Clair Obscur here. I don't know what's going to happen.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
I don't know. I just looked at this list and I was like,
Whatever.
I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
That's your prediction.
Let's keep going. We're running a little late, so let's keep going pretty quickly through these next few.
Yeah.
Best mobile game nominees are Destiny Rising, Persona 5, The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Uma Musume, Pretty Derby, and Wuthering Waves.
I think Wuthering Waves is going to win this one.
Okay.
I did Uma Musume because
Me
it
too.
was super
Yeah,
popular
that was the one that
this
went
year,
viral.
and recency bias.
Agreed. Next up, we have Best VR and AR. I had to literally just pick a name out of a hat for this one. Alien Rogue Incursion, Arcane Age, Ghost Town, Marvel's Deadpool VR, and The Midnight Walk. I just picked randomly and said Alien Rogue Incursion.
I said Marvel's Deadpool VR.
Okay.
I also picked Alien Rogue Incursion. I did Google these and try to get a sense of them, but
Okay.
that didn't help much.
Let's keep going. Best action game. This is a very funny category. Battlefield 6, Doom The Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. The idea of
But not Silk Song.
No,
well,
of
that's
course
well.
not.
Just wait. That's in the next one. But the idea of Battlefield 6 and Hades 2 being in the same category is
know.
hilarious to me.
It's great.
That said, I voted. My pick is Hades 2. I think that's gonna win.
Yep, same. Hades 2. I think they're
Interesting.
going to get their award here.
I did Battlefield
Maddy?
6 here.
Okay.
I feel like that game has
Some
been very
divergence.
popular. Of course, I can't
yeah.
play it because I can't figure out my secure boot settings. I'm just kidding.
No,
around.
I think that's a reasonable pick.
So this next one is also a hilarious category. Best Action Adventure. Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, Hollow Knight Silk Song, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and Split Fiction, which I just don't understand this, but okay.
5 games that are extremely similar. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, very similar games. I also voted for Silk Song, or I also think Silk Song is going to win this one.
I put Split Fiction
Now
here.
I don't know. God, I'm like changing my mind.
I
I'm
get
kind of
it.
going back and forth between Yote and Indiana Jones. I could sort of see Indiana Jones just picking one up here out of nowhere, but I think Ghost of Yote. I don't know.
Why not? I mean, I put Split Fiction here again because I was like, I gotta not
Sure.
underestimate Joseph Ferris. But who knows? This one is once again anyone's game.
Okay. Best RPG. This is an interesting one. We have Avowed, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and The Outer Worlds 2. Obsidian
There's
competing
always one.
against each other, against itself for this one.
Yeah, I think I'm actually predicting Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will win this,
Okay.
and it is also the game that I think should win this. So I kind of think it's going to get an award, and I think it'll be in this category.
I think Clair Obscur takes this.
Me too. But I appreciate
Sure,
Kirk's very me-esque decision to just
Yes.
put Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 there.
I actually do think it's going to win.
All
It's
right.
not like
You
because
could be right.
I'm not going
You're not
against my gut or
YOLOing.
anything.
You truly
No.
think that. All right, fair enough.
Best Fighting Game. The nominees are 2XKO, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, and Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage. I just picked 2XKO because of name recognition.
I
That's
picked
the Riot
Fatal
one.
Fury. It got pretty good reviews.
Maddie, you probably should know this better than
Yeah, I mean, I follow
do.
this a little more. But I don't know.
Yeah, I picked Fatal Fury as well. And I think it got a big reveal at the Game Awards last year. And also, like, 2 of these are like collections, as far as I understand.
They are.
So, like, those, I just don't think either
This
of those
category is tough. There's usually barely enough to fill it every year.
Right.
Next up, we have Best Family. Again, it doesn't say Best Family Game. It just says Best
Oh, right.
Family.
I think we've made this joke before that, like, what is the best family depicted in a game?
The nominees for Best Family are...
The Root Trees were nominated.
No, the Best Family nominees are Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Split Fiction.
Mario Kart World, I think.
Okay.
I did Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Me too. Yeah, I did Donkey Kong also because that was nominated for Game of the Year, and so I feel like it's got a good chance here. Next up, we have Best Sim/Strategy, another just hilarious category. These categories are ridiculous. The nominees are Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evilest Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, The Altars, and 2 Point Museum. Another one where Civ 7 is so hated by everybody, was so controversial that it's hilarious that it's on this list.
Yeah, classic case of critics just being like, what sim games came out this year?
What are sim games? Yeah, what are
these.
strategy games?
Yeah.
I think The Altars is going to win this.
I put Final Fantasy Tactics down. Okay. I know it's a remake, but it's good.
It is good.
I wonder. Part of me actually thinks that Civ 7 could win this, but I'm gonna say
just for name
crazy
recognition.
about this.
Exactly. I'm gonna say The Altars as well. That is a cool game. I didn't play that much of it, but I know it's got.
I like that you're doing this on the fly, Kirk. I appreciate that.
I'm changing my mind.
I
was really
I've
gonna.
done
I have almost all of these set, but sometimes I change my mind while we're talking. So I'm gonna say The Altars.
Next up, we have Best Sports/Racing. Also a hilarious category. EA Sports FC 26, F1 25, Mario Kart World, Rematch, Sonic Racing, Cross Worlds. I think we're all going to have the same answer for this. Mario Kart World is mine.
I picked F1.
Yeah.
Oh, I was wrong. Okay. F1 for Maddy.
This may bite me in the ass, but I don't know that Mario Kart World is actually that great of a racing game.
Okay.
But I don't know if the voters will agree with me on
It has the most broad appeal.
I know. You guys are probably right. But hey, I picked F1.
Yeah, I'm going to say Mario Kart World as well. I was thinking actually that maybe EA Sports FC 26, but I think it'll be Mario Kart World.
Next up, we have Best Multiplayer. The nominees are Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction.
Peak
for Kirk, okay?
I did Battlefield
Maddy?
6 again here.
All right. I'm going with Arc Raiders. I think that one is loved.
That game's getting really good buzz.
Yeah.
It looks fun as hell, too.
I love that we will. This is why this is a good tiebreaker because we always even if it seems like we're all going to pick the same stuff, we never do. It's great.
Yeah.
Nah, not in these categories, especially.
Yeah,
these
are crazy. Who knows?
None of us really play any of these games. I guess, Maddy, you played some Night Rain.
I did.
Best adaptation. A Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, Splinter Cell Death Watch, The Last of Us Season 2, and Until Dawn.
Just imagining the world where the Netflix Splinter Cell animated series beats the Minecraft movie, which made whatever $6 billion.
Well, guess what, Kirk? That was my pick. Splinter Cell Death Watch is my pick.
Really? Okay.
Wow, I think the Minecraft movie is going to walk away with this.
The Minecraft movie is not good. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it is not good.
Doesn't matter. It made $1 jillion. It was so successful.
You
it
think that's what people
through.
are voting for is commercial success?
Yes.
Well,
Okay,
that's
Maddy?
part of why I chose The Last of Us Season 2. Even though people hated it, I think it could still win here.
Interesting. Okay.
That would be interesting if it won, and they had to give a speech, and they're like, "Well, sorry."
Yeah, we apologize.
To all the gamers out there,
We're so
we
sorry.
fucked up Ellie's character. Got everything wrong.
Next up, we have one where I will be completely shocked if any of us disagree on this one. Most anticipated game: 007
What
First
should we
Light,
pick?
Grand Theft Auto 6, Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and The Witcher 4.
And we're all picking 007.
Yeah, importantly, this is not most anticipated game by Kirk,
No, it's most anticipated game
which would be 007.
by...
Yeah, GTA 6, obviously.
Yeah, GTA 6.
It's going to be GTA once again. It is so funny that there is a category for most anticipated game.
Is there like one of those betting markets for how many years GTA 6 will win most anticipated game at the Game Awards? Like, for example, will it win in 2026?
I think Tears of the Kingdom might have it beaten on that, because Tears of the Kingdom was announced like so many years before it was actually released, whereas GTA was only announced in 2023.
I guess to like rephrase the bet a little bit, it would be specifically, what are the odds that GTA 6 will win most anticipated game again in 2026?
Ah, that's an interesting one. Okay, that's a fun one. Next up, here's where we get into the really good stuff. This is
what we're experts
meat.
on.
Content Creator of the Year: Saydrel, Kai Cenat, Moist Critical, and Moist Critical is spelled with a 1, Sakura Miko, and The Burnt Peanut.
I think Kai Cenat.
Kai Cenat, I think. Yeah. Both because it is the person that I'm most familiar with, and I think sometimes awareness helps. And also, I feel like he did a lot of stuff this year. Like, I think I saw him in the news a lot because he was like doing stuff. So that makes me think,
he's always doing stuff.
I'm voting for
King of
The
gimmicks.
Burnt Peanut, because if you go and you look, I'm going to drop something in our Discord. If you go and you look at the Content Creator of the Year pictures and you look at The Burnt Peanut, you'll see, oh, yes, of course, The Burnt Peanut must win this award.
Wow. Okay. I get it.
Hell yeah. It's a burnt peanut.
He's a burnt
I don't know
peanut.
what I expected.
Best esports game. The nominees are Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, great name, and Valorant.
Let me find what I wrote
I'm
down
voting for Valorant.
Best esports game. Oh, I'm going to say League of Legends.
I did too. I thought about Valorant though. It's tough. I mean, these games have been around for years and years and years.
Especially
and years.
Valorant.
It's like, what are we
such
doing
a funny
here?
category. All of these categories are so funny because I'm willing to bet that like at least 75% of the jury has no idea what any of this is.
And probably don't even vote on these. I mean, I can only speak for how it was at Polygon, but we would abstain on voting in categories where we didn't feel like we could make a good decision. And I would guess a lot of voters do that.
But also, like, what does best esports game actually mean?
Yeah,
like,
what is that?
That
funnest
got the
to
most
watch? Like
Twitch viewers? Like, funnest? Yeah, like, none of that. Like, so many esports games are, like, most fun to watch if you play that game.
Right.
So it just makes no sense as a category.
It would, like, try to imagine voting on best sport, you know? So
Right,
it's like
exactly.
the NFL versus the NBA. And then each year you do it again. So it's basically like which sport had, like, the best championship series and kind of the most exciting drama. Like,
It's
maybe,
absurd.
I think that's kind of how I would decide it, but that's a kind of a weird
Yeah, but
award.
what you just described is an absurd concept.
I know.
Yeah, right.
That's what I was
know.
thinking about for best esports athlete, which this is the next category where I was like, how would this work if we were to put it in traditional sports terms? Like, would be voting against like a baseball player, a football player? Like, that'd be fun if we were just like, who's the coolest? Who's the coolest guy? Who do we think is a cool
Who had,
guy?
like, the coolest year?
Yeah, I mean, I will say there is an award show called the ESPYs, which is like the ESPN award show, and they do have like best male athlete, best
that's
female athlete.
This is kind
Do
of
they
like
do
that.
best sport?
I don't think they
should
have
do best
sport.
This year, MLB wins. Congratulations.
Baseball
Major League
takes it
Baseball.
again.
Yeah, I don't think so. But they do have best athlete, which again is just kind of a strange concept. But I guess you could determine it based on like who did the most remarkable things that year. But still, it's a tough one. Anyway, we have best esports athlete. Brock, Xavi, Forsaken, Kakeru, Menard, and Zaiwu. I mean, come on, guys. How could you not know what the answer is here? My vote is Forsaken because his real name is Jason, just like mine.
I'm going to vote for, I think it's Chovy. I would think like an anchovy. I'm going to vote for Chovy because I think that name is cool.
I went with Zaiwu. I was just
course you
glad that
did.
people are still putting zeros in their names, you know?
Yeah, you're a Zaiwu fan.
I was doing that in high school. That's never going to
We
die.
got 2 0 names.
Yeah, we got
up
2
here.
of them.
And last but certainly not least, we have best esports team, Gen.G, NRG, Team Falcons, Team Liquid PH, and Team Vitality. I thought Team Liquid was the name and not Liquid PH, so I just voted for that because I was like, cool, they added a PH to their name, so I voted for them.
Yeah, they're worried about pH now, pH measurements.
Exactly.
I went with NRG. I don't know, guys. This is also bizarre to me. Even when I was following esports, this is not how I would have quantified anything.
It's a hard one because they're in different sports again. I went with Team Falcons. I believe they won the international in Dota 2. You would imagine
Mr.
whoever
Kirk
won the international would be the Dota team that would be nominated for this. But anyhow, that's pretty exciting. That's a hard thing to do, so I'm going to say that they're going to win.
All right. Fancy Kirk with his research. I didn't do
look
research
at that.
for
Kirk
this stuff.
Googled it.
All right, that is it for our picks. We'll check them over and see who won and check back in a couple weeks for that. Before we take a break and do one more thing, let's just talk for a couple minutes at least about the stuffing portion of the Game Awards, the big reveals, the announcements. Is there anything you guys want to see, predict, hope to see at this year's show? By the way, Maddy, I was re-listening to last year's episode, and I told you this before, but I'll say this on the air. A very sad moment where you're like, whatever happened to Wonder Woman? I wonder if we'll ever see that again. Oh, no, maybe we won't see it ever again. And, of course, that is what happened. Prescient of you. But, yeah, is there anything you guys are, like, hyped about, want to see, like, new games from a company we haven't heard from in a while, or... any thoughts from you guys?
This isn't an exciting answer, but I'd love an update on the Final Fantasy VII remake trajectory. Like just another
part 3.
Another look at part 3 and when it might be coming out. Some type of timeline would be cool to hear about. And this feels like the time when we might finally learn that.
Yeah, I think they I don't know if they said this. I don't know. I feel like they're trying to hit 27. So, yeah, this would be a good time to start the campaign. I don't know if it's going to be here, but seems like a good time.
I'm so not in the mind space. Like, I just so not plugged into, like, guessing about what I might see. Jason, I want to hear from you just because I think you have probably a pretty good sense of some things that'll be there.
Yeah, I don't really want to just spoil announcements just for the sake of it. I've heard about...
No. I mean, I guess, yeah, don't spoil anything.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard about one really cool thing, and it's being teased by Jeff Keighley as we speak. Did you guys see him posting that social media stuff?
I think I saw like an era thread that he was teasing something, but I didn't look into it.
He posted a big statue, and then like some guy said it was Diablo, which it's not. It's something cool that I heard about, but I don't really want to spoil it just for the sake of it. But it's pretty cool. I think a lot of people, including the three of us, will be stoked to see it. Man, what else do I want to see? I mean, last year we were kind of...
New Persona, maybe?
Oh, man, that would be really cool. Persona 6. Yeah, it feels like a good time.
It's another one where it feels like it's time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a cool one to see.
Hollow Knight Silksong, do you guys think maybe that'll finally come out?
Man, it's been so long.
Is this the first like press reveal event where Silksong isn't going to be announced?
What's going to go on with Silk posting? Maybe people will still do it just for old time's sake, you know?
I wonder if we'll see more of the Duskbloods, the FromSoft game.
I am
announced for the
begrudgingly
Switch 2.
Curious about that, even though it is not my genre. It's a PvPvE, right?
I guess, but we know so little about it. It could be really cool.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up for another multiplayer from game after Night Rain, which I really did not care for. A couple of thoughts. One is we could see Tomb Raider, which has been in development for a while now, and probably it's like ripe to be shown off. Feels like a
Is that still at Crystal Dynamics?
Still at Crystal Dynamics. It's like funded by Amazon, and Amazon had those big layoffs a couple of months ago. They shut down a couple of their studios, but they're still doing this, so that's still in active development. I do think that there were rumors. This is not inside info. I don't know if this is going to happen, but there were rumors of that 2D God of War game. I think there's a good shot that is revealed by now. I think that was supposed to be revealed a little while ago, and so wouldn't be shocked if we see that at the show.
Yeah, what could be a big Sony thing? It seems like Sony doesn't have a lot upcoming. Like they kind of released their big sequels.
Intergalactic Heretic Prophet.
Well, they do. They have the next Sony Santa Monica game, which is Cory Barlog's project. But
that's not announced.
That's
right?
not announced. Yeah, I don't know if they plan on announcing. I don't know when they plan on announcing that, but that is in the works.
I guess that's what I mean. Is like we knew about all these big Sony sequels that were coming up this year: Death Stranding 2, Yote, etc. But like it seems like they're ripe to announce something, assuming that they are making games right now. So yeah, maybe something from them, maybe that.
Yeah, well, we know a couple of what they have for next year. Like Wolverine is coming fall.
Oh yeah,
I
guess there's Wolverine.
And that new game Saros, which is like Returnal 2 with the serial numbers filed off, is coming next year as well. I think that comes in March.
Right. The Housemarque game.
Yeah.
That's right. That game looks sick, actually.
It did look cool.
Okay.
It looks awesome. That's the type of game where it's like clearly they wanted to make a new Returnal, but maybe they thought the first game like didn't sell well enough to justify a sequel, so they're like, hey, we're gonna just make a new IP, but it's basically Returnal. I'm trying to think, is there other stuff? Exodus, that game, they've said they're gonna be there. That is the game from Wizards of the Coast, and it's made by some ex-BioWare people, like key people from older BioWare games, and it looks a lot like Mass Effect. If you guys have seen it, they've said that.
Oh yes, I have seen that. Oh yeah, that game looks really cool. I read some previews of that earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'd love to see more of that.
Yep. I wonder if it's time to see Control 2. I feel like Remedy always does stuff with Keeley, and
That'd be cool
it's been a while. It's been a couple. When was Alan Wake 2? Like 2 years ago, or was that last year?
I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was a little while ago, right?
They did put out that Control multiplayer game, but FBC
Fire
Ring
flopped.
People didn't like it,
flopped.
So that made me
Really
wonder,
depressing
are they
story.
even going to continue with that? But Remedy always just somehow pulls it out and keeps making stuff that's weird and cool.
Yep.
Yeah, Control 2. That would be really cool to see that. That would make me very happy.
Another guess from me, not inside info, but just a guess. Marathon is still coming and needs a release date. So maybe they could do like, hey, remember Marathon? Well, it's back in POG form. And give a release date for that.
I wish I was excited about that.
That's another just Sony one that's upcoming.
Maybe Conquer 2?
Conquer 2, yeah.
It's now we're just saying
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just trying to make you guys laugh. I was just having a good time.
Congratulations, you succeeded.
Yeah. Anything else? I mean, hopefully there's some cool indie stuff that just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
surprises
I mean
us,
that's
like
always
Dispatch
what I
last
hope
year.
for. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I hope for the things that I can't possibly predict. Where I'm like, oh, that's just a cool trailer for something I never would have imagined, and then it's great.
Yeah, and I think to Keeley's credit, I think he gets a lot of flack, but I think last year's show was actually really strong all around. Like, it didn't have a ton of unnecessary celebrity fluff. It had a lot of good game reveals. That had Witcher 4, it had Intergalactic, it had Dispatch, and I remember it being, despite being 3 hours long, which is always kind of a critical flaw of these shows, it still felt like it was well executed in a way that previous shows had not been. There was no like Kojima just talking for 10 minutes about nothing.
I gotta admit, this year is the first time in many years that I will be able to watch the Game Awards with a cocktail and go to bed when I choose to.
Nice.
I don't know how long that's going to last for me, but this year, that's how I'm going to do it. And I'm
Enjoy it.
excited
It's a
about
way
it.
better way to watch the show.
But you have to be able to talk about it on our podcast.
Oh, I will. I'll be able to hang out in the Triple Click Discord, which Kirk always does.
Also very fun. Yeah.
Talk a little shit with our listeners. I hope Statler and Waldorf come back. I mean, I don't know. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I did really enjoy last year's show, and yeah, this will be fun.
Couple of other just things that I'll throw out into the ether. Again, not inside info, just things that I think there's a possibility that we see. Ubisoft has some stuff coming soon, like Black Flag remake that could be there. That's supposed to come out pretty soon. They have that Prince of Persia remake that's also supposed to come out pretty soon.
That's been delayed multiple times. I keep forgetting it
Oh yeah,
exists.
that'll probably get like a release date at this. That seems kind of likely.
Yeah. I doubt we'll see much from like EA. They're in the process of getting taken over, so who knows what's going on there. Maybe some random new like small game from them. Xbox, you never know. They always have a bunch of random stuff up their sleeves.
They own 60% of the video game industry, so they'll probably have something there.
But if they announce something, it won't be out for another 5 years. Remember, they announced Arcane's Blade 2 years ago at the Game Awards, and not a peep on that since. Nintendo is always a wild card too. I really like that Persona 6 prediction, Maddy. I feel like
never know.
It feels like a good time. Feels like a great, just like come out of nowhere surprise with the teaser trailer. I doubt they're going to be like, and it's coming next year, but like it would be a cool little teaser for the future at least.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get that Persona 4 Golden or Persona 4 remake.
Oh,
Right,
yeah, I'm sure.
that too.
That'll probably come next year.
Yep. Okay, cool. All right. That is it for Game Awards predictions. Why don't we take a break and we'll be back with one more thing.
Hello?
Hello, I'm calling on behalf of the Beef and Dairy Network podcast.
No, I'm sorry. No sales calls. Goodbye.
It's a multi-award-winning podcast featuring guests such as Ted Danson, Nick Offerman, Josie Long.
I don't know what a Josie Long is, and anyway, I'm about to take my mother into town to see Phantom of the Opera at last. You are wasting my time, and even worse, my mother's time. She only has so much time left. She's 98 years old. She's only expected to live for another 20 or 30 years. Mother, get your shoes on. Yes, the orthopedic ones. I don't want to have to carry you home again, do I?
Right, well, if you were looking for a podcast...
Mother, you're not wearing that, are you? It's very revealing, Mother. This is a musical theatre, not a Parisian bordello.
Simply go to MaximumFun.org.
I'm reaching for my Samsung Galaxy 4 as we speak. Mother! Mother, not that hat!
Have you been looking for a new podcast all about nerdy pop culture? Well, I have just the thing for you. Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries.
Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries is a weekly pop culture history podcast hosted by me, host Alston.
And me, host Brenda. We've already tackled mysteries such as what happened to the puppets from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Is Snoopy Mexican? And why do people hate Barney so much?
From theme parks to cartoons to 80s, 90s, and 2000s nostalgia, we tackle it all.
Check us out every Tuesday on MaximumFun.org and wherever you get podcasts.
And we are back. Maddy, why don't you start?
Sure. So I'm playing a game that I've never played before, and it's called System Shock. Heard of it? Anyway,
what made you decide to start playing this? That's
just pure spontaneity. I have absolutely no reason to be playing it right now. I'm actually specifically playing the 2023 remake of the game that I got a code for many, many years ago. I think I was just looking at my library and just seeing like, wow, I have a lot of codes that I just have sitting here, and I don't know. I was just feeling it, and I checked it out, and holy moly, this game is really good. And it has also made me realize that no other original video game has ever been produced by anyone. Actually, there's just this one game, and every other game has just been iterating on this. And jokes aside, really, I'm referring to like the classic sci-fi first-person shooter. Like there's shades of Dead Space. I mean, really, Dead Space has shades of this. Portal. I mean, the list goes on.
And all the immersive sims, those Looking Glass games.
Yeah, like
Deus Ex
lots of immersive
BioShock.
sim. Just building off of this, as one is wont to do with immersive sims. But the remake is incredibly cool. If people are wondering about it, it was in development hell for a very, very long time, and it did luckily get really good reviews when it came out. And I am also having the benefit of playing it after it has received a ton of really great updates. For example, you can play as a female hacker now, which was never in the original game. Really, all that changes since this is totally first person is they have a female voice actor doing the barks, and for the few cutscenes where you see them, you get to see her. It's like a small thing, but I think it's really cool that that's in there. Apparently, they've made a bunch of other changes, like they changed the end of the game. I didn't see the original one, but I'm really digging it. There's also like an easy mode now, which is probably helpful for people because the game's pretty tough. I'm playing it on normal, but I do think it's hard, and I'm not above switching to easy because apparently it has like waypoints in the map, like it adds in kind of pathing and telling you where to go and stuff that this is just a game where you get lost in a huge map, and that's really fun to me, and also reminds me of Metroid a little bit in a good way, where you're just wandering, seeing the same stuff over and over, unlocking stuff, solving a little puzzle, unlocking a new door, and it's scary. The sound design, talk about sound design. You can hear the guys around the corner, and they're so creepy. And there's also the phenomenon in this game where when you have the map open, somebody can sneak up and surprise you. And some of the enemies are still pretty freaky looking. Like this is a game about like a spaceship out or satellite out in space where people have been taken over by this rogue AI that is converting everybody into cyborgs that want to kill you or turn you into a cyborg specifically, actually. And that's really scary and fun and cool. So yeah, this game from the 90s, actually really good, holds up. Really glad they remade it. I don't think I would have gone back and played the original one, but the remake is great. So I recommend it.
Good stuff.
A little fun fact on the developer of this, Night Dive Studios. This is the same studio and actually the same director, Stephen Kick, who were trying and failing to remake No One Lives Forever. I spoke to Stephen Kick back when I was writing at Kotaku.
Oh, wow.
And they were he and Larry Cooperman, who I think works with them or maybe is part of Night Dive, they were like trying forever to get the rights to No One Lives Forever to do a similar kind of remake, which would be so cool. And is another game from that same era that it would just be amazing if more people could play, sort of like System Shock.
Clearly they want to do this.
And I saw them, they were out there talking about it again, Cooperman and Kick, this last year, talking about No One Lives Forever again. So like it's the dream that will never die. So you never
it might come back, because if you look at like the development hell history of this System Shock, it's like decades on decades, and they just kept finding funding somehow, restart. It started as a full remake. They were going to actually rewrite parts of the game. It ended up being like more of a one-to-one remake. It's just wild. And so you never know. With people like this who are this stubborn, they might just decades from now be like, we finally got the No One Lives Forever IP, and
like we figured out who owns it, and they sold it to us for $1,000. Now we're making this game.
They seem stubborn in a good way.
Yeah, I hope so.
Why don't they just call it Nobody Lives Forever? And just
It's the same game. But
also, if nobody knows who owns it, then why can't they just do it? Because if nobody knows who owns it, then nobody can sue them.
Yeah, I asked them that. I think it's
Not
I don't
quite
know.
how it works.
Maybe we'll link to my article about this from back in the day. I think they just can't put that much time and money
It's
into
a risk,
something that could wind up in legal limbo.
Kirk, what's your one more thing?
My one more thing is a novel that I just read that is absolutely amazing. So amazing that it won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction in 2021. So, it's I'm not the first one to recommend this book. It is The Night Watchman by Louise Erdrich. Holy shit, this is an incredible book. She is an amazing writer. This is the first of hers that I have read. And yeah, I mean, it's not a book that I could really, encapsulate or convey like the beauty of the language in this book, but so I really just want to recommend it. Louise Erdrich is a Native American author. She's a member of the Chippewa tribe of the Turtle Mountain in North Dakota, and that is who the book is about as well. It's about her grandfather, though it's fictionalized. One of the main characters is based very closely on her grandfather, who was deeply involved in a letter writing and political activism campaign against the government move toward what was called termination. And there were these termination bills that were passed in the 1950s where the bill was basically saying, okay, well, this tribe or that tribe, they're just going to be assimilated. So we're going to terminate their status as a separate nation or as a separate tribe. And thus all the protections they have and really their land, we're going to take their land away. And the termination bills were definitely a violation of treaties that were like signed between America and various Native American nations, but no one cared. At least no one in Congress cared. And so it was a really horrible thing that happened and actually is still ongoing. Like Erdrich writes at the end of the book in her afterword, in 2020, like the Trump administration was trying to terminate a tribe of Native Americans. Like these things are still happening, even though it kind of went away for a while. And of all people, Richard Nixon actually was the one who like signed the bill that did away with these laws for good and sort of implemented new protections for American Indians. Anyhow,
Richard Nixon, good guy.
It's funny, the more you learn about history, the more you learn there were these times where Richard Nixon like was on the right side of something or like did something that we can all thank him for now. So it did happen.
That'll happen 30 years from now with Trump. You'll be looking back and be like, wow, Trump.
It's
it's like Operation Warp Speed or something. Like there are things where you're
exactly.
like, the Trump administration did a good job there.
People sometimes trick him into doing all kinds of weird things. So
right. Yeah, who knows, right? Like why anyone does any one thing. Anyhow, this book, it is, like I said, its scope is so vast, its emotional landscape is so complex, it would be very difficult for me to describe it. So I'll just say that it's one of the most beautifully written books I've ever read. It's written in a style that I can't say enough about. I mean, it's such a reminder that as much as a book can just be a great story, I'll read these genre stories, murder mysteries or fantasy novels where a lot of the fun is just in the world and the rules and the mechanics and the way the plot develops and it really pulls you along. Sometimes you read a book like this, or Barbara Kingsolver comes to mind, any of her novels where the writing itself is such an integral part of what it's doing that I'm reminded of just how beautiful words can be if you really know how to use them. And Louise Erdrich is an amazing writer. And I think there's definitely something very culturally specific to the space, like the imaginary space that this book lives in. It's a book that lives in these liminal spaces. So it's in the 1950s. It's set in the Turtle Mountain Indian Reservation. So it's in like northern North Dakota. It's very cold. It's the winter, and this termination bill is coming around. But it's really just about the community and all these different people, many of them Native Americans, some not, who just live there, and like how they all intertwine with one another, and how their lives are, just how their whole culture and community work, and then how that is all at risk because of this law. The legal wrangling, like the political wrangling, is really just kind of hanging over everything. It's so much more about the people. But there's this sense of like liminality to the whole thing, where there's like the dead walk among the living. The ghosts are there. Ghosts are characters in this book. At any time, a character might see someone from the past at the same time as they're interacting with someone from the present. They might have a dead ancestor talking to them in a conversation with someone who's alive. Like the past and the present merge, and the living and the dead merge, and dreams and reality merge as well. The main character, Thomas, is a night watchman at a factory where a lot of the characters work, and some of the scenes, like these really evocative scenes, he's alone in this factory and there's no one trying to break in. He's kind of just alone, and he's sitting, and that's when he writes, and he's just writes. And he's based on Erdrich's grandfather, and she has all of his writings. So he's like very vividly imagined because she had so much of his writing. And so he's there writing, and he's worrying because he's thinking about this bill, and he's thinking about what he needs to do. But also he's kind of falling asleep because he's so exhausted, and he's been, he's night watchman. He has to stay up all night. So it's like about the rituals, the meal that he eats at a certain point, when he has coffee, when he does his rounds. But then during his rounds, he'll see an owl at the window. And what does the owl mean? And then he thinks he's falling asleep, and he thinks about Roderick, someone he knew when he was a kid. And then the ghost was there, and it was the ghost of Roderick. And like they're talking, and it really just, it's so enchanting and beautiful. And it so feels connected to this beautiful and long-standing culture. It's an amazing book. I'm totally not surprised that it won all these awards. It's like a total work of art. It's incredibly beautiful. And I could go on and on, but I won't. And I will just say, anyone out there, if you're looking for a just beautiful and inspiring and moving book to read, Louise Erdrich's The Night Watchman is one of the best ones you can read. So I wholly recommend it.
She just came out with a new book, The Mighty Red, right?
She has a bunch. Yeah, I mean, she's prolific and regular writing. I know The Roundhouse is supposed to be amazing as well. I want to keep reading her. I'll probably read all of her books, but this is a great place to start.
Awesome. My one more thing is a game called Megabonk that went viral when it came out earlier this year. I've been kind of trying to catch up on games as we prepare for our Games of the Year season, where we talk about all of our favorite games of the year. And so I've been trying to check out at least a few of the games that like I missed that went viral or were critically acclaimed in some way. And I wanted to check out Megabonk. It is essentially 3D Vampire Survivors. It's a little bit different. There's kind of a different rhythm in how you like unlock new stuff, new levels, new characters, new weapons. You have to find a boss portal in the area and then fight a boss and then go into the portal to reach a new level. It's kind of a different sort of rhythm, but fundamentally the gameplay is the same. You do not control your attacks. You automatically attack. Monsters come at you. You have to survive and fight them off in these hordes of random enemies. And you get levels, and then you pick which upgrades you want, and you try to maximize your build through random objects that you find along the way and all these upgrades, and you try to kill as much as possible before you die. It's fun. I don't love it, I would say. It's kind of fun as a novelty. It's got a certain jank to it that is very appealing. It's got a certain addictive quality to watching numbers go up. But I will say that I think Ball Pit was so much better that it kind of ruined this for me, because I enjoy the gameplay of Ball Pit, where you're actually just kind of like doing the breakout thing of hitting those balls at angles and destroying the enemies that are kind of fixed in one column or in a few columns as they come down at you. I enjoy that structure for this type of number go up game a lot more than just kind of the aimless jumping and roaming around the fields of Megabonk. That said, I totally see why it's so addictive and why it's fun and why people enjoy it. It hasn't gripped me in the same way that Ball Pit did.
I get it.
Yeah, I haven't tried
fun,
this one, but it looks really fun. I mean, I'm sure it's fun. These games are all, they're all pretty
fun.
Like when they're at a certain level of quality, they're pretty good.
Did you guys know, by the way, I just learned yesterday from our old boss, Steven Tortillo, that Ron Gilbert's new game, Death by Scrolling, which was announced at the summer thing or at Gamescom a few months ago, that came out last month and nobody knew about it. Nobody knows that it exists, but it came out last month. Apparently that's also kind of like a Vampire Survivors and I was shocked to learn.
Oh yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
I was shocked to learn that a new game from the creator of Monkey Island came out, and I have not heard a single person mention it. I had no idea it existed. You would think that
It's the first
there would
time
be a
hearing
press
it.
release at the very least. Like, this is a pretty well-respected, legendary game creator. Again, Monkey Island. New Monkey Island was on all 3 of our Game of the Year lists a couple of years ago when that came out. That was by him. So the fact that also Thimbleweed Park he made a few years ago, another great game. The fact that he came out with a new game and just nobody knows about it is kind of bonkers to me. Almost mega bonkers to me. But
I'm gonna have to play this.
Just in terms of like Vampire Survivors likes, I thought it was interesting. Anyway. Fun little bonus, one more thing there. But yeah, Megabonk, it's fun. Won't make my Game of the Year list, but I just wanted to check it out.
Nice.
Cool.
All right, that is that for this week's episode. Soon I will be off to LA, and we will be talking about Metroid Prime 4 ahead of the Game Awards next week. None of us got early codes, but we're all very excited to play it over the weekend and talk about it next week. I'll be playing it on the flight to Los Angeles. So yeah, guys, Kirk, Maddy, see you both next week.
Yeah, have a good trip to LA, Jason, and I will see both of you next week.
Bye.
Triple Click is produced by Jason Schreier, Maddy Myers, and me, Kirk Hamilton. I edit and mix the show and also wrote our theme music. Our show art is by Tom DJ. Some of the games and products we talked about on this episode may have been sent to us for free for review consideration. You can find a link to our ethics policy in the show notes. Triple Click is a proud member of the Maximum Fun Podcast Network, and if you like our show, we hope you'll consider supporting us by becoming a member at MaximumFun.org/join. Email us at tripleclick@MaximumFun.org and find links to our merch store and our Discord server in the show notes. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Maximum Fun, a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.